Welcome to No Brainer MMA. What's up, Connor?
Hey, what's going on, dude?
Not much. Just hanging out on a Monday afternoon.
Yeah, nothing like it.
Was doing some job hunting.
Don't worry about the YouTube will support you.
Hopefully, eventually. But yeah,
UFC 265. We're gonna get right into this.
we could recap what Sean Strickland did to Uriah Hall.
Oh yeah, you put on a clinic.
He did put on a clinic, and it was very impressive. Like, he jabbed him to death, man. He really did. He just fucking beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
Cheyenne Bays had I would say, one of the most perfectly timed head kicks I've ever seen.
pretty good. And you were bashing her. You were like,
I
"You're
was,
gonna go with Cheyenne Bays." I was like, dude.
I mean, that was just perfect. Jared Gooden, who we didn't even cover, fucking starches Nicholas Stolze.
That was awesome too. He took the fight on like 3 days' notice, also, and
Yeah,
the weight cut. And
Melsick looked
fucking
good. Jason Witt looked really good for some. Like, I didn't
dude,
see that coming.
he was 0-2. He was on the last fight of his contract. He was going for fucking nothing.
Yeah, and then Chris Grutzmacher versus Rafa Garcia.
That was bad.
That fight didn't live up to expectations.
No,
I
it was
really
just
thought
bad.
Rafa had it.
He was bad.
Kai Kamaka, Danny Chavez. It was a draw, so
Yeah, it was a close fight. He lost. I think Kamaka would have won, but he lost the point. He kicked him in the dick and he poked him in the eye, and he lost the point.
yeah, he kept doing it, dude. Jimmy Fry, you were right about that one with the
Yeah.
unanimous decision win over Ashley Yoder.
Yep.
And then again, I was right on Ciryl Gane versus Ryan Benoit.
He looked great.
Yeah, he really did. That's what I thought we were gonna see when he first came in.
Yeah,
And
he
then
really
Phil Rowe.
Phil Rowe looked awesome. He came in overweight, I think 2 pounds over, but that was a great way to start the night. That knockout.
Yeah, pretty nasty.
And you know what? I bet that underdog on like DraftKings, so it paid off for me. It was nice. I didn't pick him I didn't have him on.
But I picked him, so you were like, maybe I'll go with Dan's pick on this one.
He was a solid dog, for sure.
Yeah.
All right,
I
cool.
don't know how many dogs I'm going because I literally this time I really didn't look at the odds on this. I
did after, and I got some dogs. I got some dogs on dogs. So let's get right into this. UFC 265, Derrick Lewis versus Ciryl Gane. We're gonna start with the first one: Johnny Munoz Jr. versus Jamie Simmons. Yes, sir. Johnny Munoz 4-1 his last 5. He took his UFC debut on short notice in his last
very short notice
there against Nate Maness too, who's pretty good in a fight where he after rewatching it,
I thought he won.
I thought he won too. Like it was close and it looked like he won. I think it was the first round and the second round for sure. Actually, I think it could have been like all 3 rounds because then he just like laid on top of him for the third round. He had 9 minutes and 42 seconds of control time.
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't get the W in that fight.
And he doubled the significant strikes too of Nate Maness too.
I mean, you can't go purely off of strikes because, like, you know, the feel of the fight, but like stats. I mean, but
significant strikes and total strikes are totally different. I think significant strikes are a little bit more. You see where the fight was.
Yeah, but still, like, you have to watch the fight to really gauge where it's at. And I'll let you get into it first, but yeah, take it away.
Yeah, 8 of his 10 wins have come by finish and 6 by sub. He's taken on Jamie Simmons 3-2 in his last 5. Both losses coming by KOs.
One was the Giga Chikadze, which is nothing to hang your head about.
He has a 7-3 record, winning mostly by KO TKO. He's only seen the third round twice in his career. I think Munoz has this one. He's got the advantage on the ground, and he's the more seasons of the two. So yeah, I'm going Johnny Munoz in this one.
Yeah, Johnny Munoz does have some gas tank issues first and foremost. Yeah, on the feet he throws a lot of front kicks. A lot of it is to set up the takedown. Body kicks he really throws in particular. He has some solid BJJ as well. He doesn't mind being on his back. Hit his last opponent in the nuts a lot. If you watch that fight, and like we said,
Nothing like it.
we like he dominated the first round in his UFC debut with takedowns and ground and pound. He's not a boring fighter. We thought like both of us think he won that fight. Um, he did lose a point. Like he did have a point deduction, but still, nevertheless, that fight should have been a draw if anything. He is relentless with his takedowns, which is why he has a low percentage in his takedown accuracy. It's basically like more of like a setup, like he shoots to get somebody up against the cage to then, utilize his game plan from there. Then you got Jamie Simmons, who got destroyed in his last fight against Giga. Giga was landing his patented Giga kick right to the liver, and as soon as he dropped his hands, he went up top, KO. Um, he's a striker, but he clinches up a lot. He's a short guy. Is he undersized? Do you think?
No, I don't think he's undersized. Do you think he's a little undersized?
I think he's a little undersized. I think
Yeah.
he's just short,
Yeah, five
Compared to
six.
Giga, he looked really undersized. That's
Yeah.
maybe why.
Yeah, but his reach is right there, 70 inches.
Yeah. He's not dealing with the height discrepancy that he did in his last fight. And he's going to use the clinch, try to clinch a distance like his last fight. But I don't think he has much going for him in this fight. The clinch will be interesting, though, but I think that Munoz will look for the takedown and possibly lock in a sub. I got Munoz all day in this one.
All right, nice. We're both agreeing on that. We're going Johnny Munoz, and he's a minus 230 favorite.
Lock.
Yeah, it's trending that way. We're gonna lock that one right now.
I think I might lock that, yeah.
No, Dan's locking that one first of the night. That's great. We're gonna move right into the next one. Victoria Leonardo versus Melissa Gatto. Dan, take it away.
Yeah, so Victoria Leonardo has fought some high level competition outside of the UFC, but lost to all the bigger names.
Mhm.
Let's rattle some of them off. So
It's a good resume.
I'm talking about Victoria Leonardo, um, Erin Blanchfield, Miranda Maverick twice, once in an exhibition bout. Well, that's about it. But still, like she lost her UFC debut after her Contender Series win to Manan Fiorot, who is honestly a stud.
Yeah,
Uh,
she's good.
she's a beast.
Yeah.
Um, but looking at her fights, like she just, I'm not impressed by like she's only been subbed once, but like it was like easily done. It was only like a couple years ago, and then she's facing Melissa Gatto, who is more of like a sub specialist. She subbed Carol Rosa from like full guard. She was on the bottom in full guard and got a Kimura off on her, which is very impressive. You don't see that very often, and and Carol Rosa's making waves in the UFC, so that's pretty impressive. She's undefeated with 2 draws, but she can definitely fight. She's a solid prospect to watch out for in the future. There was very little tape I could find on her. I'm mostly riding the hype, especially with the win over Carol Rosa. I'm just double checking yeah, it was 2018, so it was a little bit ago, but still, like, she subbed Carol Rosa from fucking full guard, like, off her back with a Kimura of all things. Um, yeah, her sub game's super solid. I think that she gets it done. If the fight hits the ground, Gatto can get the sub. If not, she gets the decision.
Victoria Leonardo, 2-3 in her last five, 1-1 under the UFC umbrella. Lost her UFC debut, like Dan said, to Manon Fiorot. TKO in the second round. She's got an extensive 6-2-1 amateur record, 8-3 pro record. She's only lost a high level competition, like Dan said before. She's taken on Melissa Gatto, 3-0-2. Hasn't fought in nearly 3 years. She had 3 scheduled bouts since then, but she ended up pulling out of all of them for injuries and COVID and various shit.
She couldn't get into the country and
Yeah,
shit
one
like
was a
that.
visa. Yeah, issues. She's still only 25 years old, which is crazy. So she did all that when she was 22, basically. Um, that win over Kyle Rosa was just awesome. But
Yeah,
besides that, it's just like low level competition in small organizations that you can't even click on Tapology. They don't have like pages or anything.
yeah.
I'm gonna go with the underdog in this one. A lot of pressure on Gatto being 3 years out and making her debut for the UFC. Um, but it's a close fight. But I like the dog in this one. Looking at Melissa Gatto, she's got
Shadow the dog.
no Gatto is actually a minus 140 favorite,
I
and
love that. I love that.
Leonardo is a plus 115. Solid. I'm gonna go with her.
You're
I,
taking Leonardo?
yeah, yeah, dude, you listen to me. I'm taking Leonardo.
I thought you were talking about Gatto this whole time. I was like, yeah, facts.
No, no, no.
I don't think her grappling game is nearly good enough to keep up with Gatto. Like her take that she can take somebody down, but like they get right back up, you know?
Yeah, but all we watched was that one video. Like you didn't find any other videos, did you? I
I
don't.
found a couple of her fights.
You did?
Yeah, her stand up was isn't too impressive to me. Struggles with submission defense.
Oh, not. I'm thinking like Melissa Gatto. I couldn't. I found one video of hers.
Same thing with Leonardo. I wasn't able to find much.
Oh yeah, Leonardo had a bunch of UFC fights though. You can just watch them on the UFC thing.
I mean, yeah, she had some Invicta fights, but like she got rocked, you know. So this is like, are you into the Gatto hype train? I'm on board. I want
Right,
to see what you know.
right.
I'll take the risk, and I'm going on the Gatto hype train.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. I'm gonna go with Victoria Leonardo. We're gonna move right into the next one. Anderson Dos Santos versus Miles Johns.
We covered this fight already, so I think we should make it fairly quick. But take the floor.
You got it. Miles Johns, 4-1 in his last 5. He has a win over Adrian Yanez before making his UFC debut. And we just seen how good Adrian Yanez is lately.
But Adrian Yanez has improved a lot since.
Rising like crazy. He's got a plus 0.9 striking differential, 68% striking defense. The guy's a ghost out there. He's got 1.2 takedowns per fight at 87% takedown defense. He's taken on Anderson Dos Santos, 3-2 in his last 5. He had his strikes doubled by his first 2 really one-sided UFC losses. He's a BJJ black belt, winning 12 of his 21 wins by submission, minus 2.1 striking differential at 28% accuracy. Yeah, very not that good of a striker. For a grappler, only has 18% takedown accuracy. I think Johns is able to keep this on the feet for the most part and just grind out like a unanimous decision victory.
Yeah, I could agree. I think he could finish it as well. Anderson Dos Silva is more of a submission grappler. He's not a wrestler, you know, like it's gonna be hard for him to get the fight to the ground. But he can get the sub in a lot of areas. But he is getting older. What is he, 35, 36 years old?
Yeah, he's getting up there.
Um, they're both stockier guys. But Miles Johns, on the other hand, like you said, he has the win over Adrian Yanez. It was a while ago. But when you look at his striking fundamentals, they're fairly decent. And he mixes in the takedowns as well. His jab is money. And with Saif Saud in his corner, he gets great corner advice and great game planning. Solid striking defense as well. Like he shells up well for sure. You know, like if a guy starts, if a guy starts blitzing him, he really shells up
Right.
the correct way. Um, Saeed, you can give credit for that. Um, can change the momentum with his takedown shots, even though he doesn't get them down necessarily. But like his takedown shots will like mix it up. He mixes up. He's most. I say he's a striker, but he mixes up the what's it called, the takedowns when he needs to. Decent counter striking and some power, and he landed that beautiful uppercut that knocked Natividad out cold. if you saw that fight in your research.
Yeah, that was his last fight out.
Yeah, I mean, I know he got finished by Mario Batista, but that was a flying knee, and like uh, you can't write that off. But like, still, these guys are like Miles John's super durable. I think this fight goes to 3 rounds, and Miles John takes a decision.
Yeah. Yeah, great. So we're both going to agree on that one. Both going Miles Johns. Going to move right into the next one. Manel Cape versus Odie Osborne.
I think that's you. I think I took. Did I take the last one?
What's up? I think I might have done the last one.
You took the last.
Yeah.
You took the last. Are you sure?
Yeah, I think I did.
All right. So we got Manel Cape versus Ode Osborne. Ode Osborne's been jumping around weight classes. His last fight was at 145. He's fought at 135 for the majority of his career. Now he's making his flyweight debut, I believe. And he's huge for the division.
Yeah.
But my curiosity is he gonna make weight? How is the weight cut gonna affect him amongst those things?
His chin.
Yeah, how that affects his chin. He struggles against submissions, but this fight is going to stay on the feet. This is a striker versus striker fight. Um, it's it's really hard to see where the toll in making flyweight will take on him. But he is talented and coming off a very quick knockout in his last fight. You got to give him that. Manel Cape, though, star boy. This guy came in as a huge prospect, and he's just been a notorious slow starter in his first 2 fights. Albeit he did take those 2 fights on short notice. I think he has a full training camp in this fight, which is huge for him, so we could actually see what he's got. And the notoriously slow starting cost him his last fight, which I think he clearly won. Against Pantoja, I believe.
Yeah, that was his first fight. His first UFC.
Oh, yeah, his first fight was against Pantoja. Who did he lose against that he won? I thought that was robbery.
Mateus Nicola.
Yeah, like he won that fight, in my opinion, hands down.
Yeah.
He obviously has to start things off better. He knows that, and he's going to make the adjustments. He's a very, very talented striker, and we've seen the glimpses so far. He rocked Nicolau multiple times in that second round, and this time with more preparation and his back against the wall, like he could be cut. Even though that last fight is kind of a win, and he took 2 short notice fights, he's on Uncle Dana's good side. So he might get a shot after this if he does lose, but I don't think he's going to lose. I got Cape in this fight.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the best we've seen of him so far. This is going to be the Manel Cape we set out to see.
Yeah, Dan, I'm going to agree with you on this one. Manel Cape 3-2 in his last 5, 0-2 in the UFC, but very close fights, like we said. One fight on short notice against Mateus Nicolas, and then opponent pull out for the second fight, and he ended up fighting Alexander Pantoja. So both fights were technically short notice. He did have a training camp for one of them, though, against Alexander Pantoja. He's a top 5.
It wasn't a full training camp, though. He did take
Why
it.
not?
He took it on. He took it on short notice.
He was supposed to be fighting someone else, and Pantoja took it on short notice.
Yeah, but it's a different style, So you're training for one guy, and then you're like, "Fuck!" Now I got.
But he was still able to get a full training camp. That's what I'm saying. And he's fought Pantoja, who's a top 5 125er on short notice, which is crazy.
Yeah, that was his first fight. You know,
this is UC debut,
and he kept it competitive.
He's taken on Odie Osborne, 4-1 in his last 5, 2-1 under the UFC umbrella. He took his last fight on a couple of days' notice as well. At a higher weight class, 145. He was fighting at 135 for a while. He's going to be fighting at flyweight, which I don't think that's going to end well for him. He's going to be cutting too much weight. Starboy is overdue for a win, and I think he gets his hand raised in this one.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I don't want to bet on him because I've bet on him twice and I've lost money on him twice, but I really do like Starboy in this
Oh,
fight.
and yeah, he's 0-2, man. He's due. He's got to win this one. It's a
Yeah.
must win. But we're gonna agree on this one. We're both going Manel Cave. So we're gonna move right into the next one: Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Jessica Penne. Carolina 1-4 in her last 5 on a 4-fight losing streak. 12 out of her nine wins come by decision. Pretty one-sided fighter. Striker averages 5.2 strikes per minute, 39% accuracy. Although she's been outstruck in 4 of her last 5. She's only recorded 1 takedown over the course of her 10 UFC fights, just showing how one-sided she is. Taking on Jessica
Yeah, she's a
Penne.
Polish kickboxer.
Yeah. She's taken on Jessica Penne 2-3 in her last 5. Took a 4-year layoff for Dan said USADA. I guess she got busted for something. She broke a 3-fight losing streak her last time out against Lupi Godinez.
PEDs.
And
She got busted for PEDs.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, she was juicing. She's 30. Well, she's 38 years old now. Has a -2 striking differential, 33% accuracy. Not really too great numbers. Her striking, especially recently, hasn't looked that great. Uh, I don't think Penne has a lot left in the tank, so I'm going to go with Carolina in this one. But I wouldn't bet it. It's the grossest fight on the card in my opinion.
I'm gonna disagree and say I'm gonna take Jessica Penne because Jessica Penne in her last fight, she actually looked pretty damn impressive with some with with her technical striking. She was able to really like split the guard with her right hand. Um, her stand up looked pretty impressive, especially because I was big on Lupi Godinez going into that fight, and Carolina has just I'm just I don't like to question fighters mentally, but I really am questioning her mentally in this fight. It's just like where's her head at after losing 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Um,
Jessica
and
Penne was is in a similar boat when she was on a 3-fight losing streak. You know, they were very similar, these two.
yeah, but like they were all against. It was Joanna. They
Yeah.
both got finished by Jessica Andrade, and she lost the decision to Danielle Taylor.
Right.
Um, but anyway, what's it called? Um,
Jessica Penne.
Karolina Kovacevic, her 4 losses, Jessica Andrade with a brutal KO loss, Michelle Watterson, if I remember correctly, I didn't watch the tape on it, was a fairly one-sided unanimous decision. She got absolutely like as a kickboxer, she got absolutely pieced up by Alexa Grasso. Alexa Grasso fucking, you know,
Yeah, she went nuts.
like did you watch that leading up into this at all?
Yeah, I remember it actually. It's like it's a bloodbath for Carolina.
Yeah, it was so one-sided.
Yeah.
Like I'm like what happened to the striking? It's she's really slowed down in her career.
Yeah, she's got
Penny on
they're
the
both
other
old.
hand, what were we saying?
I just said they're both old, you
They're
know.
both old.
Yeah.
Penny on the other hand, I think like by having the USADA suspension for so long, she's only 13-5 and she like kind of like refreshed as a fighter in a way. Not
TJ
to say
Dillashaw, like
not saying she's gonna make a run at a belt or anything, but like she's got some fight left in her.
you think so?
Whereas Carolina, I don't think has very much fight in her. So I'm gonna ride with Jessica Penne in this fight. I'm fairly confident in it as well. She looked pretty solid in her last fight, and ring rust was definitely an issue when it was almost 4 years to the dot that she didn't compete in.
Wow.
So I got Penny in this fight, and I think she's able to pull it off. Carolina, it's just like where I don't know where her head's at this point. It's just like it's her chin too. It's just like it's hard to say, oh, I'm gonna bet Carolina Kovacevic in this fight which you even said I'm not even betting on this fight.
No,
So
I would not bet on this one. The odds are showing, and her chin isn't in question. She got knocked out one time against Jessica Andrade, dude.
she's been rocked too, though. Like,
Okay, she's been rocked. She hasn't even been knocked. She's been knocked down one time, KO'd one time in her entire
yeah,
career.
but like Alexa
Yeah.
Grasso was rocking her on the feet, you know.
Right, right. Yeah,
So like,
she beat her up for sure, but I wouldn't question her chin at all. Um, Actually, Carolina is the favorite, near even. She's a minus 115, and Jessica Penne is a minus 105. So
I might eat up on the Jessica Penne.
eat up, eat up. Oh, did your light? Something just flashed.
My power,
Surged.
my power surges.
A surge of electric energy because this podcast is electric.
Yeah,
We're disagreeing.
right.
I'm going Carolina. Dan's going Penne. We're going to move right into the next one. Ed Herman versus Alonzo Menafield. Take it away, kid.
Yeah, Ed Herman. He's another case of a veteran who's been around for a little bit too long, in my opinion. Not in the best fighting shape anymore. Like, if you just look at his body, like you're just like,
He looks like I always say, like he just looks like he's just walked out of a bar because he's always red and like bloated on weigh-in day. He'll come out and it's just like funny to see.
yeah. But he's still got some pop in his punches.
Hell yeah.
I'll give him that. Short fuse is definitely he's in, like, you can just tell he's an angry person. You know.
I would love to party with Ed Herman. I bet he goes crazy. Couple of
You don't want to party with him because he's punching somebody in the face.
That's true. That's a bar. I want to be on his side of that bar fight.
But he did submit Slow Mike Rodriguez in his last fight.
Slow Mike sucks.
He's on a 3-fight winning streak, if you can believe that. Which is fucking insane to me.
Insane.
But he's going up against Alonzo Menafield, who is an absolute tank of a human being. This guy, 6 feet tall with a 76-inch reach, just an absolute fucking brick shithouse,
He is, dude. I've seen
right?
I've seen that man.
So to my breakdown, Menafield, it's not much, but he throws some huge power. But given his power, he has some gas tank issues, which we've seen too. You get him out of the first or second round, he's he's grasping for straws at that point. He has some impressive wins that have aged well. Where is it? Who did he try?
Paul Craig.
Yeah, Paul Craig. That's the one that he has an impressive win that aged well, which is Paul Craig. Like,
Paul Craig.
Yeah. You knocked out Paul Craig. That's impressive. Paul Craig is a top 10 light heavyweight,
Yep, for sure.
But Alonzo Menafield fighting out of Fortis MMA. He was green, or you could still consider him green, but like he's getting better and better at MMA, like in his last fight, pulling off that Von Flue choke. Who the fuck saw Alonzo Menafield via Von Flue choke?
And it was so quick.
Yeah. So yeah, he's been knocked out before. He leaves himself open while he's on the offensive. Like when he's a blitzing type of fighter at times, but he'll leave himself open. So a veteran like Ed Herman might look to counter that, but I just don't really see that happening in this fight. I got Menafield via KO, TKO. He's going to be stronger in the clinch. He's just stronger in general. Like, he's one of those guys, he can take Ed Herman down even if Herman's got him against the fence type deal. Like, he is super strong. So I'm gonna go with Alonzo Menafield in this fight.
Yeah, Dan, I'm gonna agree with you on this one. I love Ed Herman. Like you said, that 3-fight winning streak is just unbelievable. And that Slow Mike fight, Slow Mike was dominating Ed. And then Ed was able to just like catch him in the third, late in the third, and like really like cashed out. He'll be 41 at the end of the year, but short fuse is still a tough match for like a lot of guys that are trying to get into like the top 20 or something like that. He's just tough and gritty. He's got an even striking differential, averages 2 takedowns per fight at 48% accuracy. And we've seen Alonzo Menafield get kind of just like wrestle fucked by Devin Clark, basically. And yeah, I feel like that should be Ed Herman's game plan. Like we've seen it work before. Like he's probably gonna try to do something like along those lines, use those takedowns. But Alonzo Menafield finished all 10 of his wins by finish, 7 by KO. He's got heavy hands, technical striking, kickboxing. Um, that cardio is a problem, and it is sketchy. He's only
Yeah,
been to the third round once in his entire pro and amateur career. Herman is definitely the more well-rounded and experienced, but Slow Mike was really able to put it on him, and I think Slow Mike just got really unlucky. And he's not high-level competition whatsoever.
yeah, that was a comeback victory for Ed
Yeah,
Herman.
yeah, it was. It was sick. It was great to see because it's like, wow, he's just like defeating Father Time. He won't be stopped.
Yeah,
But Slow Mike is not high-level competition whatsoever. No offense, Slow Mike. Um, he outstruck him 2-1 with 2 knockdowns. So I think Menafield, he was able to knock him down twice in that fight, and he recovered. God bless you, Ed Herman. But I think Menafield will be able to finish this.
Menafield hits immensely harder.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. So you watch that fight, you're like, what would Menafield do? He would have destroyed him. It would have been stopped. So we're agreeing on that one, and I'm glad. Let's take a look at those odds real quick for y'all. Minus 225 favorite for Alonzo Menafield, plus 185. That's pretty good, honestly, because I think he is gonna finish this one.
Yeah,
All right,
I
we're
would
both
I
agreeing.
would bet like a second round knockout or something, or first round, second round knockout for.
I like that. I like that a lot. I was gonna bet that. I was kicking myself in the fucking head. I was gonna bet that Phil Rowe knockout in the second round, and I was like, nah. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
We're both agreeing. I'm gonna go Alonzo Menafield. So is Dan. We're gonna move right into the next one. Draco Rodriguez versus Vince Morales.
Yeah, so Draco Rodriguez, he's coming off of a knockout loss to Amon Zahabi, who is the brother of Faraz Zahabi.
Yep.
You know, um,
I don't really like him. Do you think he's that good?
I think he's improving, honestly.
Yeah, he did win last time out, I think, but yeah, he's improving. He's improving. I don't want to say anything because I thought that fucking who was the guy last week that was 0-2 on the prelims?
I'm forgetting who it
Oh,
was.
Zaruk Adashev. He's giving me like
I
Zaruk.
believed in Adashev though. I had Adashev in that fight.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going off course.
But anyway, Draco Rodriguez coming off of that knockout loss to Zahabi, which personally I didn't see coming. I had Draco Rodriguez in that fight,
Same.
but
He's a big favorite.
then I started questioning him. He has some submissions, but he's not necessarily a wrestler. So it's not like he takes people down like at will. Like he's not like an elite wrestler by any means.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think he likes to strike a lot.
Yeah, and it's kind of tough to gauge where Draco is at. But I do like his body of work, especially due to his extensive amateur background.
I'm gonna get into that also.
Yeah, so I'll save that for you. Vince Morales, on the other hand, even with the losses recently, he definitely has a shot to win this fight. I would stay away from this fight personally.
I agree with you there. That's for sure.
Yeah, this fight is
It's one of
most
the few I would say to stay away from, honestly.
what?
It's one of the few I feel like I would say stay away from.
Yeah, like all the other ones, I'm pretty
I'm
confident.
confident in a lot of those.
Yeah,
All the ones we agreed on,
even
basically.
even the Jessica Penne fight, I'm pretty confident.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm not that I'm not cocky like you.
I'm confident. The tape in her last fight, and like I'm just Carolina just doesn't have it, you know. That could be a split decision though, so who the fuck knows? Um, but again, we're getting off course.
Getting of course.
Vince Morales, even with his losses recently, he definitely has a chance to win this fight. This is definitely good. I think this is going to be 3 rounds. It stays on the feet. If it goes long, and Draco definitely has some chin issues, and Morales is a hard hitter. He did get battered in this last fight against Chris Gutierrez. Um, but Draco is definitely a step down from Gutierrez. I think we both agree on that one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'm honestly gonna take Morales in this fight. I
Okay.
think he gets a KO win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way on this one. Draco Rodriguez, 3-2 in his last five, 1-1 under the UFC umbrella. Lost his UFC debut in his last time out, and that first round KO loss. It was tough to watch. He's 25, undefeated, 13-0 amateur record. Um, he's got a 7-2 pro record, and he claims this is what I was talking about before. He claims to have a 300-0 record in street fights. What's your take on that?
Draco,
Yeah.
he's fucking lying through his teeth.
I knew you'd say that. He's very well rounded with the. He's got striking and he can grapple. Although I think he prefers to strike. His boxing is pretty good. Um, got a couple crafty submissions too on the ground.
I don't like his chin.
Yeah, I'm just gonna chalk that up to that UFC debut. Whatever. Like
It's not just his UFC debut though. Like he's been like both of his losses have been knocked out. He got knocked out by Tony Grafley as well.
yeah, he fights in a pretty like he. I don't know if it is entertaining, but it's probably not the best style for winning. He like puts himself out there a lot, and that could lead to bad shit.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, but exactly like I'm not too confident in this either, honestly. Like I see where you're coming from with Vince Morales. 1-5 in the UFC though, like that's terrible. He's a striker. He's got I'm talking about Vince Morales now. Got even striking differential, 39% accuracy. Hasn't registered takedown in the UFC. 55% takedown defense. I think this is a solid bounce back matchup um, for Draco.
I could see it, but yeah. Before, like against his Benito Lopez fight, he had a knockdown in that fight. I know he got destroyed by Gutierrez, 60 strikes to 8. Um,
He put up a
but if
fight
you
against
look at
him.
him, he's basically like he fought Song Yadong 79-74, significant strikes. The difference was the Song Yadong takedowns.
Yep.
They have a similar opponent in Amon Zahabi, where Vince Morales was able to take the win, but MMA math, rarely checks out.
Yeah. Totally. We're gonna disagree on this one. Dan's gonna go Vince Morales, and I'm gonna go Draco Rodriguez. We're gonna move right into the next one. Rafael Fiziev versus Bobby Green. Um,
Take it away.
Thank you, sir. I'm a member. Being a member of the Bobby Green fan club, this matchup kind of breaks my heart. Um, Green is 3-2 in his last five, but really he's 5-0 in his last five. Um, he's one of the toughest guys in the UFC. He's only been finished once in the UFC, and that was to Dustin Poirier many years ago. I think it was like 2014. He's got a plus 1.85 striking differential, 51% accuracy, 63% striking defense, and also 1.5 takedowns per fight at 41% accuracy and 72% takedown defense. He's outstruck his last 7 opponents. Also, he's been robbed more times than any fighter I can think of. He's going to be taking on Rafael Fiziev, 4-1 in his last five, 3-1 in the UFC. His only pro loss coming in his UFC debut. His fight style is electric. He's explosive. He's a freak athlete. He's got a plus 0.4 striking differential at 57% accuracy and 100% takedown defense. I don't see Green taking Fiziev down in this one, though. This fight, I think, stays on the feet. Green has the high volume, but Fiziev has that power. And I think this fight is closer than the odds makers are saying it is. Bobby,
What are the odds on this? Let me
yeah,
check.
I got you, dog. minus
Got,
three minus 335 Rafael Fizayev and a plus 260 Bobby Green. That I think that's a little disrespectful. Um, this fight, Bobby Green is not a slouch. Um,
he's not
no, he's a
solid
decent dog
underdog
in this,
pick
but
if
I'm
you
gonna.
want to take him. But like
What'd you say?
I said, he's a solid underdog pick if you want to take him. But still,
Yeah, this is a decent. Exactly. This is a decent dog, but I'm going. I have to go with Fizayev in this.
so do I. His
Yeah,
eye is he's looked really good.
yeah, he's looked awesome. It's just tough. Bobby Green is just like he won his last time out. First of all, that was complete and utter horse shit. What the judges did to him with Tiago Moises. Did you see that, Dan?
Yeah,
Dude, what? I didn't get any of that. Um, yeah, dude, it's a shame. He should have like he should be on like a 7 fight winning streak. But I'm sorry, I'm ranting. Um,
yeah.
are we both agreeing, Dan?
What?
We're both agreeing on this one.
Yeah, Fazia for sure. That
Desire for sure.
he threw that nasty hook against Moicano in his last fight, and Moicano is a hell of a fighter in his own right. You
Dude,
know,
he's sick.
so
Moicano's sick. Unreal.
like if you look at him, he's got wins over Calvin Cater, Cub Swanson, Demir Hadzovic. Like he ain't no joke. His losses in the UFC are to Jose Aldo, the Korean Zombie, and Fazia. So
Brian Ortega
and
too.
Brian Ortega. So
Yeah.
that's like he has wins over Zubera Tukagov,
Oh, Tucker.
um,
Yeah.
Jeremy Stevens. You know, like
Yeah, dude, he's got legends and guys that are like really like right now at least very popular and are like in their primes. Calvin Cater and whatnot.
yeah,
Um, all right, awesome. We're both agreeing, both going Rafael Fizayev in that one. We're going right into the next one, Song Yadong versus Casey Kenny. Take it away, Dan.
yeah. So Song Yadong, he lost to Kyler Phillips in his last fight, and I don't know what happened to Kyler Phillips in his last fight. He was a
Yeah,
huge favorite going into that fight, and
he
I
shook his
was
head.
really riding with him, and he just somehow just I guess he looked gassed for some reason.
So gassed.
I don't know what happened. Um, Bad training camp. I don't know. But Sonya Dong, you can make the argument that he's lost his last two. Like the Cheeto Vera fight was one of the robberies of 2020, top robberies of 2020. Um, Sonya Dong definitely didn't beat Cheeto Vera in my eyes.
Close fight. Yeah, I'll give it slight Vera in that.
It like it wasn't even that slight. Like I was like, all right, Marlon Vera won the fight. I wanted Song Yadong to win.
Right.
I chose Song Yadong to win, but like I was shocked when it was you when like he got the unanimous decision victory. Casey Kenny, on the other hand, this kid is no joke, honestly. On his last fight, he fought Dominic Cruz to a split decision.
I had Cruz in that.
I had Cruz in that fight, but like he definitely took a round in that fight, and he looked impressive.
Tough
Um,
fight, man.
he's a tough dude. He's got wins over Nathaniel Wood, Luis Smolka,
Yeah.
Ray Borg,
Ray
Manny
Borg is good.
Bermudez. I mean, he lost to Marab Davashvili, but like still, like this guy's
Everyone does.
super active.
Yeah.
Um, Casey, it's hard not to take Casey Kenny in this fight. We've all seen Casey Kenny fight. He's a solid southpaw, just
Smart.
he's high fight IQ. I mean, he fought Dominic Cruz, who has one of the highest fight
If
IQ.
not the highest, you know.
Yeah, so he lost. He lost on points in that fight, but I think he rebounds against Song Yadong. Gets does I don't think he has a rating. I don't think he has a ranking next to his name. I think this fight will get a ranking next to his name, especially after Kyler Phillips lost his last fight.
Yeah, Dan, I'm gonna totally agree with you. And I forgot what I was gonna say, but I'm gonna totally agree with you on this one. Song Yadong, 3-1-1, but a couple of close fights, like you said. Only 23 years old and already has 22 pro fights, which is just pretty crazy. A plus .7 striking differential at 42% accuracy. Taken down a lot though. Probably the biggest hole in his game. 56% takedown defense. He's been taken
He
down
gets
10.
back up quickly though.
Excuse me.
Gets back up fairly quickly though.
Yeah, but he's been taken down 10 times in his last three fights combined and registered zero in return. He's taken on
But
Casey
he's won
Kenny.
all of them except for the one against Cruz.
Right. Um, he's taken on Casey Kenny 3-2 in his last five, losing that last time out against Dominic Cruz in a split decision. Plus .5 striking differential, 42% accuracy, 1.1 takedowns per fight at 39% accuracy, 59% takedown defense. This is a great matchup, but a tough call. But I like Kenny's volume. I think he has the grappling advantage, and since both guys like mostly win by decision, I just think that he outpoints Song Yadong in this and takes like a decision victory.
Yeah. I'm a Song Yadong fan,
Me
so
too. He's good
it sucks to see him fight Casey Kenny because Casey Kenny is up on the upswing.
for sure. And this fight is dead even. It's a minus 110, and we're both agreeing on Casey Kenny, so that's a solid one. I'll probably bet that.
Yeah, Casey Kenny all day.
Nice. So we're both agreeing Casey Kenny all day. We're going to move right into the next one. Tisha Torres versus Angela Hill 2. Take that. Is it me or you actually?
It's you, but I could take it because you know my love for Angela Hill.
That's true.
I
And I'll
love
take,
me some Angela Hill.
and I'll take the next two, and then you get the main event.
What?
You want me to do the next two then?
Yeah, you could take the next two, and I'll take the main.
Cool.
Yeah, she's coming off a unanimous decision win over Ashley Yoder, where she absolutely dominated the fight. It wasn't even close. And then, like I said, she beat Claudia Gadelia and Michelle Watterson, regardless of what her record says. With the Watterson fight going 5 rounds, I believe it did go 5 rounds, right? Just double checking that.
Most of her fights
Yeah,
do.
it went 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Angela Hill, she's just a beast and just improving and improving. When was the last time she fought Tisha Torres? It was a while ago,
Like
right?
2014, I think, or something like that. 2015.
Yeah, she fought her in 2015. Um, she was 2-0 at the time. She's gotten a lot of fights. She's gotten 20 plus. She's gotten 22 fights since then, and she's kind of peaking at her career right now. Tisha Torres, she looked absolutely fantastic in her last outing against Sam Hughes, who did take the fight on very short notice. Um, and she beat Brianna Van Buren before that. But before that, she did have a 4-fight losing streak. But if you look at it, the competition is as good as it gets. Marina Rodriguez, Weili Zhang, Joanna Jacek, and Jessica Andrade. You don't get much better than that, you know.
Yeah.
So Tisha Torres definitely is it, I'm gonna call her a gatekeeper. She kind of is a gatekeeper in a way.
Slap in the face.
What?
Slap in the face. She's a fan.
It is a slight slap in the face, but I think Angela Hill is a solid underdog pick. She's really peaking at the right time.
She another.
Her stand up game is solid, very very solid. She's getting up there in age, so if there's a time to make a run, she's got to make it now. And I think that she's able to pull it off in this fight.
Yeah, dude. I'm agreeing with you on the dog. Tisha Torres, 2-3 in her last five. She was on a 4-fight losing streak from 2018 to 2019, but broke that losing skid on this 2-fight winning streak that she's on. But they were like pretty much gimme fights. That short notice one against 0-2 Sam Hughes, and but before that,
She pieced her the fuck up in that
yeah,
fight.
yeah, she did. And who was that other matchup that she had that was like just like a basically Brianna Van Buren, who's 1-1 in the UFC. So just like new people, maybe they're trying to use her as like a stepping stone thing, but it's just not working yet. Um, she went from facing like that top 10 competition, like you said, to or top 5 even, to just like those one-sided like warm-up fights. She's taken on Angela Hill, 3-2 in her last 5. Those two fights are split decision losses. Where, if you ask Dan, she won both of them. Um,
If you ask the majority of the MMA community, they will say she won both.
right. But I don't have my pulse on the MMA community. She's 6 years older and lost in, and they lost in her. She lost in her first fight, but Angela Hill is a way better fighter right now. I think she's light years ahead of Torres's stand-up game, and her takedown defense recently has increased like tenfold. She stopped 3 of 4 against Gedalia, 17 of 18 against Waterson, and 4 of 6 against Yoder. Um, and I think this fight's definitely going to decision. So you never know, but I'm gonna go. I'm agreeing with you on the dog, Dan. Angela Hill.
There we go. Angela Hill. Let's go. Overkill.
All right, so we're gonna move right into the next one: Vicente Luque versus Michael Chiesa. Um, this is a classic striker grappler, right, Dan?
Yeah, I agree.
Vicente Luque, 4-1 in his last 5. Also 3 fight of the nights and 1 performance in his last 5. He has an even striking differential, crazy punching power. He's finished 18 out of his 20 fights, mostly by KO TKO 11 times and submission 8 times. So pretty even, honestly, for being a guy that's a stand-up fighter. He's taken on Michael Chiesa, 4-1 in his last 5. Wins mostly by submission, although he's been winning a lot by decision lately. 12 times, he's won by submission 12 times and averages 3.6 takedowns per fight at 52% accuracy and 68% takedown defense. He's gotten 21 takedowns over the course of his last 5 fights at 68% accuracy, which is just crazy.
That's solid because a lot of the shots are going to just get the guy against the fence. That counts as a shot.
Right. But 70% accuracy. He's just like a well-oiled machine right now. Both guys are
A lot
pretty.
of it comes from the Magny fight because Magny cannot stop him.
Yeah. Then we saw Magny beat Neil, and we're like, what the fuck? And I just thought Magny was like even. It made that win that Michael Chiesa had look even better, honestly.
Yeah.
This fight is tough, very close, awesome fight. I think Michael Chiesa grinds out a win in this one, though.
Yeah, this is I would stay away from this fight with the 10-foot pole because there's a good chance both of them could go to sleep. Vicente Luque could definitely knock Chiesa out. Chiesa is fucking huge though for the division. Like,
dude, he gained all that muscle. I can't believe he was a 155er.
that's what I'm saying. I can't believe he was a lightweight because of how fucking big he is now.
Yeah.
It's actually astounding to me.
I don't want to. I hate to bring it up again, but Jinyu Fry was an atom weight, and we saw how jacked she looked when she gained like that 10 pounds of muscle. Like
Exactly.
it's like really it's been helping out a lot of fighters doing that. It's a good way to do it, honestly.
Yeah. So Michael Chiesa, at first I was like all in on Luque,
Right.
and then I was really thinking about it, and especially the tape. Um, the RDA fight he looked really good in. RDA is getting old though. I don't really think that highly of RDA anymore. But the Neil Magny fight really showed something. Um, I don't see either of these guys necessarily being champion. If one's gonna be a champion, it's gonna be Luque, but I think Michael Chiesa is kind of like his kryptonite. Chiesa's gonna, grind him against the fence and just smother him. It's gonna be the crowd's gonna be booing it, but Chiesa's gonna get the W in this one, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. It's a tough call, man. Like, but Chiesa, like, he's moved up in weight, and he's looked so great.
Don't talk about my mom.
Don't talk about my mom.
And then it gets choked out.
Yeah. All that shit. And remember when Connor threw the fucking dolly through the window and cut up his face?
Yeah.
That was nuts. He's had some bad luck against Conor McGregor.
Again, LeBron James would never get away with that.
Oh hell no. But we're both agreeing on this one. We're both going Michael Chiesa.
It's a
Um,
tough one to call, though.
I'm gonna
Like,
check the odds real quick.
it's got to be
It's
near.
a dog. We're agreeing on the dog and Michael Chiesa plus 115.
My
Very
opinion very well might change because it's changed over the course of the last 24 hours.
okay.
Um, so take my prediction with a grain of salt because I really do like Luke, and I think Luke could be fighting for a title sooner rather than later. But like I said, I don't think this is a great matchup for him.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just so strong and just he just keeps you down. Um, Somewhat of a boring fighter if that's what bores you, but
Right.
still,
Still,
um,
we're both agreeing. We're both going Michael Chiesa, right, Dan?
yeah, I guess it's tough though.
Tough call. Dan might change. Check Twitter and see
Yeah,
if
check
Dan changes.
Twitter. There's a very good chance I change my pick.
But we're gonna move right into the next one: Jose Aldo versus Pedro Munoz. Um, Aldo 3-2 in
Uh,
his last five. He broke a 3-fight losing streak in his last time out against Marlon Vera, but I think Marlon Vera actually he gave him a pretty damn close fight, if you ask me.
yeah,
Um, I
Jose
think
Aldo just kind of backpacked him for
yeah,
like
he looked
the fight.
different. He looked like a Jose Aldo that we've never seen before, and it's just kind of like sad to see. He's
He
one of
was
the best
he
fighters
was
of all time.
scared to stand with Cheeto Vera.
What'd you say?
He was like scared to stand with Cheeto Vera.
Yeah, and Cheeto Vera, like we're talking about Jose Aldo, he's like maybe top 10 fighter of all time, and like Cheeto Vera is like a top 10, top 15 fighter maybe now. You know what I mean? Like it's not they shouldn't be at this level, and it's sad to see that. Um, they're both the same exact age, almost down to the same month. I think there's like a month apart, but Jose Aldo is a much older 34. He's taken a lot of damage.
Well, you see that Jose Aldo's 34 because if you gave me if I had to guess and let's say I wasn't an MMA fan and
Right,
I just kind of just followed him throughout the years and
right.
known him since the WEC days, I'd be like, oh, he's like 43 and he's like 34,
Like Anderson Silva's age. He should be Anderson Silva's age.
yeah, it's crazy how fucking
Yeah.
young he still is.
But the amount of damage he's taken is staggering.
Sta-
Um,
Absolutely
he's
staggering.
going to have a pretty good, significant 5-inch reach advantage. Um, he may have went down a notch in the rankings, but like he's still a tough fight for anyone. Um, he's taken on Pedro Munoz 3-2 in his last five. He's definitely got the volume advantage here, averages 5.6 strikes per minute, but doesn't nearly have that knockout power of Aldo. But Munoz is very tough. The last time he was finished was in 2014, and he's fought 12 times in the UFC since then.
Yeah.
I think this fight goes to decision, and if that happens, I think Munoz outpoints Aldo, and just takes the decision victory.
Yeah, think about the Edgar fight for example. He lost a split decision in that, but I had Munoz in that fight. It was a very very close technical striking match. But I had Munoz in that fight. He knocked out Cody Garbrandt. I mean, that was at no that was at the time where Cody Garbrandt had no chin.
Yeah.
But what's it called? He rebounded with a win over Jimmy Rivera, which was no surprise. Um, I'm gonna take Pedro Munoz in this fight. Like I said, the amount of damage that Jose Aldo has taken over his career,
Yeah, dude.
it's quite staggering.
Yeah.
It's like I want this man to retire at the age of 34, which
Yeah,
is
which is
crazy.
nuts.
You know,
That's crazy.
34 is like an age where
Some people are reaching their prime in MMA at 34.
like Jorge Masvidal reached his prime at like 35.
Yeah, exactly. It's totally possible. but I don't see a resurgence of his career. I think he only goes down at this point.
I agree,
Yeah.
and I think Pedro Munoz
All right. I hate to
takes
say it
the
again, but we're
yeah,
agreeing on another dog.
yeah,
I think that's the third dog on the main card that we agreed on, and that is something else.
yeah.
We're gonna move right into the next one. Derrick Lewis for Ciryl Gane. Take it away, Dan.
All right, so there's not much to say here. We got Ciryl Gane, who is basically like a heavyweight wonder boy. We've never seen anything like it with his stand up, with his jab. He's got an amazing jab, leg kicks. He's a very smart fighter with a very high fight IQ. He doesn't like to get hit, and I respect that.
I don't blame him.
It's like Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
like you don't you're there to hit somebody and not get hit. So Ciryl Gane, um, I'm pretty sure he has to be a favorite in this fight.
He is a large favorite, my friend.
Yeah, he's a favorite for a reason. He's much more technical when it comes to the stand up than Derrick Lewis. He, but the thing is, Derrick Lewis, you can't sleep on the man. Like Volkov, for example. Um, Volkov beat the shit out of fucking Derrick Lewis for 4 minutes and 50 seconds, and then Derrick Lewis landed a right hand and put him to fucking sleep. So it's a tough one to call. It really is because Derrick, like, when you say, like, when I'm not gonna say puncher's chance even for Derrick Lewis because he's better than that. Like this fight is almost it's like 60-40 Gane, in my opinion. Um, there's a 60% chance that Gane just, picks him apart from the outside and counters counters the shit out of him on, like, when Lewis comes in. I think he's gonna do a lot of frustrating of
Right.
Derrick Lewis. Derrick Lewis also starts off very slow. He's a notoriously slow starter. Uh, you look at, like, let's go look at his recent fights. Against Curtis Blades, started her off incredibly slow. Alexei Olenek started her off very slow. Lear Latifi debatably lost that fight. Same thing with Blagoy Ivanov. Like, he he got off to slow starts in all of those fights. He got off to a slow start on the Volkov fight. He never really had it against Daniel Cormier, and he got finished by Junior Dos Santos. That's looking at Derrick Lewis's career. I love Derrick Lewis. He's my favorite heavyweight. Like, personally, as a fighter, he's my favorite heavyweight. But I can't give you my pick with what my favorite fighter is.
Right.
So the 60% tells me Gane, and I'm gonna say that Gane takes this fight. I know he only has 9 fights, but he has the Muay Thai background. He's fighting out of the MMA factory in France. He has submissions under his belt, heel hooks, arm triangle chokes, front chokes, and elite stand up. That's on a different level. Um, he destroyed Rosenstrike. Rosenstrike barely hit him. He destroyed Volkov. Volkov barely hit him.
No, that's not true.
It was, what was it, 50-45 though?
Yeah, he beat him. Volkov won the first round, but he laid it on him in the first round, and then was like he did okay. Like he was still able to hit him a bunch in that. He like Ciryl was beating him up after that, but Volkov was landing his shots.
Volkov landed shots, but like it was like 135 to 115. That doesn't really tell you the story of the fight.
Yeah, but
It was
he landed
Ciryl Gane's fight.
Yeah, it was like a kickboxing match almost.
Yeah, it was a technical kickboxing match. And when it comes to technical striking in the heavyweight division, I think that Ciryl Gane is the best. I've been saying this for how long now, Connor?
You
I've
love the
been
guy.
saying I've been saying this since. Let's look. Let's look at Gane's fights and say when I've been saying this um since the Dos Santos fight. I was 100% convinced. I was like, Gane takes this easily. And ever since then, he's just ascended through the rankings. And don't get me wrong, he could get slept by Derrick Lewis. Derrick Lewis can put anybody to sleep, but I think this is Gane's fight to lose. Um, the Gane versus Gane fight would be absolutely crazy to just fathom that fight happening.
That'd be
I
fun.
would love to see the Derrick Lewis
I'd rather see that.
over that because I feel like the Derrick Lewis versus Francis Ngannou rematch is what we would expect the first time it would be.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, either way, I'm gonna take Ciryl Gane. I might get some heat for this because like everybody wants Derrick Lewis to win.
I'm not going to give you heat, but I'm going to give you reasoning to why I think Derrick Lewis.
I mean, Derrick Lewis surprised like there's so many times he surprised me, but if he knocks out Ciryl Gane at this point, I'm not going to be surprised whatsoever. Derrick Lewis, like he he's the first in knockouts for a reason, you know, like he's got the most he's tied or has the most knockouts in the UFC for a reason. That knockout versus Curtis Blades was just absolutely brutal. I think it was the most brutal knockout of the year so far. Herb Dean fall. It's Herb Dean fall. And then that guy tried to break into his car. That was hilarious.
Yeah, and he slept him.
But yeah, like it's just it's hard to trust Derrick Lewis because he's had a title shot before, and what happened? He fought a technical, a much more technical Daniel Cormier and lost the fight. He's been knocked out by Mark Hunt and Junior Dos Santos before, so it's not like Derrick Lewis is got the best chin that we've ever seen. He has been knocked out twice. Um, it's a tough, it's a super tough fight. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see like I'm gonna be rooting for the Black Beast in this fight. There's like personally, you know, like I love Ciryl Gane, but Derrick Lewis is one of my is like top 3 to 5 favorite fighters for me. You know, he's fucking absolutely hilarious. He fucking has powerful ass hands, and but Ciryl Gane is just so technical. Like it's very hard to like land something significant on him. It's we've never seen him hurt before, you know.
Right.
So this fight's gonna be very interesting. But I'm gonna take Ciryl Gane in this one. I've been riding with Bone Gamin for a while now. Um, I gotta keep riding with him. He
Yeah,
hasn't let me down yet.
yeah, I'm gonna start with Ciryl Gane. 9-0 record, 6-0 in the UFC. Um, green to the sport still, even though that he's competing at a high level. He's a kickboxer. He's got a plus 2.5 striking differential at 45% accuracy, 63% striking defense. Really technical, amazing, crisp striking. Crazy, well fought kickboxing fight against Alexander Volkov in his last time out. Volkov, like I said before, Volkov landed 115 significant strikes to Gane's 135. Gane for sure won, but Volkov still took gave him a good fight and landed his own. When he's taken on Derrick Lewis, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off a second round KO win over Curtis Blades, who I believe to be the number 1 contender behind Francis Ngannou.
It was 50-45, 50-45, and 49-46, by the way, in the Ciryl Gane versus Volkov fight.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about that though. Just talking about the numbers like landed. Like Volkov landed a lot, and if you go back to watch it, he 150 and 135 is a pretty back-to-back fight. Even, but he did lose. I'm not.
But if you watch the fight, it's a clear winner.
Yeah, there's a winner, but it's he. But that's the point I'm trying to make is that he got punched 115 times by Volkov, and Derrick Lewis, if he plans to do that with Derrick Lewis has a very high chance of knocking him out. That's why I'm bringing that up. I'm not talking about if he won the fight. I'm talking about the shots that he took. If he takes them from Derrick Lewis, um, then I don't see the fight. I don't see him winning the fight at all.
Can I
Uh,
counter argue?
when I'm done,
Okay.
I Gane, like I said, left himself open to against that Volkov in that Volkov fight, and I think that Derek Lewis honestly has a closer fight with Francis Ngannou than if Gane had a fight with Francis Ngannou. So I'm gonna ride with the big underdog in Derek Lewis in this one. I think he's looking at like a plus 260, which is that's great. I would take. You're gonna put a bet on him, aren't you?
I'm gonna put some money on Derek
Yeah,
Lewis.
like that is too
Like,
good to pass up.
this is a fight to hedge your bets on.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
that's a great idea.
you know, throw
For
a
sure.
parlay that includes Ciryl Gane, and then maybe like throw a lock parlay that includes Derek Lewis. You should throw the same parlay, but with Ciryl Gane and Derek Lewis, and I think you're gonna win money either way.
I
With
like
all
that.
the locks we like with some
That's
of
a smart bet.
with some of the smart bets, like smart choice, like with some of the one-sided or pretty dominant fights we can see coming from
Yeah.
it.
And we agreed like there's a lot of money. If you do a parlay just for the main card, we have we have three that we agreed on underdogs, and then one of the Derek Lewis, who is just like one we can't pass up. Like there's a lot of money there, and like there's a lot of dogs, which I love. And that Casey Kenny is even. That's even like money. You put something on him. I think that he takes that fight.
Yeah, Casey Kenny. I got yeah, Casey Kenny, Angela Hill, Chiesa, Munoz, Derek
Casey.
Lewis. That would be a solid payout.
Oh yeah, right. That's sick. I
But
can't wait. I'm gonna go hard.
I'm gonna do the same parlay with Ciryl Gane.
Yeah, I get that. I don't think I'm gonna put any money on Ciryl Gane just because I don't think there's any money to be made there. I think all the money's in like if you want to make the money, I think Derek Lewis is the way to go. Minus 335, for a fight that could go either way. You said 60-40. Like that's that's not worth it to me.
60-40 is reasonable though, right?
60-40 is reasonable, but the minus 340 doesn't I don't think is good. I think it's a lot closer than that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's hence the 60-40. It should be like
It should be like a
minus
180.
185,
Yeah, exactly.
190, or even minus 200 to plus 160, 170,
Totally, dude. It should be way closer.
Um, but I think it all comes down to the technicality of Ciryl Gane. He really like yeah, he did get hit, but like none of it really hurt. Like again, he's never been hurt, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Like we have never seen this guy hurt. And even in Muay Thai, I don't think he's ever been hurt, you know? So it's gonna be interesting. Like this guy's
Yeah.
only 9 fights in, and he's technically fighting for a title.
I think I read somewhere the only two people to ever do that with that little fights. Do you want to take a guess? Two
The
people
UFC,
in the UFC that got to the champion on less on that amount of fights or less.
well, Anderson Silva made it in. It got his title shot in the second fight, but John Jones.
No, I'm not like pro fights, counting pro fights too. Like it's
Oh, counting pro
pro,
fight.
yeah, all not just UFC, like total fights.
I don't know.
Chris Weidman
Oh
and
yeah, Chris Weidman.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
That's it. So if he be in the same group with those guys if he is able to get a win against Derrick Lewis.
I mean, Brock Lesnar is but like,
Yeah,
who was the other one?
Chris Weidman.
He was a champ that reigned for like a year.
Yeah, no, he was good, and I think we're done.
Follow us on Twitter at No
Unbelievable.
Brainer MMA.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter. Yeah, and like and subscribe and follow us on Twitter at No Brainer MMA.